time for the formal speaking portion of the evening, and we're fortunate to have two speakers tonight. And our first speaker, Rob Kidd, is going to be sharing an icebreaker speech, the first one. So remember, when you're giving feedback, to focus on positive, although I have a sense from what little I know of Rob already, fairly new, but pretty confident that I already made the rounds and shook everybody's hand, softened us up. But Rob's going to be sharing a story from childhood that defined. So please welcome Rob Kidd.
Have you ever had an experience in your life that you couldn't explain? Do you remember the elements and the effect of that experience on you as if it happened yesterday, even though it happened years ago? When I was 12 years old, my family and I lived on a Native American Indian reservation in the desert of southeastern Arizona. Most of the kids in my class at school were from the Apache tribe, but there were a few other kids that were from other tribes as well. There were only 4 of us that were not Native American: Julie, Bobby, Dougie, and myself. I didn't really know Julie all that well. She called us grimy, adventurous little boys and always keep our distance. Julie was a pretty smart girl. Dougie, Bobby, and I, we did a lot of things together. Usually after school or on weekends, we were down at the river, floating in the rapids, having mud fights, trying to catch fish with our bare hands, or exploring the nearby hills across the river. I remember before I would go out each day, my mom would give me my daily instructions. Be home before dark, watch out for rattlesnakes and tarantulas, and if you take your shoes off, shake them out before you put them on, in case any scorpions crawled in there. And that did happen. On this particular weekend, we decided that we were going to cross the river and go explore the hills, something we had done quite often, but we were going to go further out in the desert than we'd ever done before. We'd been hiking for about a half an hour, and we came to this depression in the earth. It was like a small gully. It was about 12 yards wide, so about 20 yards deep, and at the bottom of this gully was a rock wall. And it was about 12 feet high, and about 6 feet up was a cave. It was imperative that we go check this out. After all, we were grimy, adventurous little boys, and I know that to be true because Julie said so. So off we went. We went down to the bottom of the gully, and we climbed that wall. And when we reached the floor of that cave, we looked inside. And it took us a few seconds to adjust our eyes because it was dark. And after about 10 seconds, I looked into that cave, and I could see artifacts. I could see Native American pottery. I could see headdresses. I could see other things that were used in the tribal dances that we attended. I couldn't see all the way back there, and the cave went back quite a ways. But after about a minute, I felt this coldness surround my entire body. Not just my upper body that was on the edge of that cave, my entire body all the way down to my feet. And the hair on my arms and the hair on the back of my neck started to rise. And I looked over at Dougie and Bobby, and I could see the fear in their eyes that I was experiencing as well. And without saying anything, we all jumped down, ran out, crossed the river, and went home. And we didn't talk about it. So about 2 weeks later, we finally got our courage back. And we said, we're going to go back to that cave. And not only are we going to go climb back up to the cave, but we're going to go in the cave. And we're going to see what's in there. So I got my daily instructions from my mom, which never deviated. It was always the same. And we trooped off across the river and into the hills. We knew where this cave was because we really knew that area. We had been there many times, but not quite that far. But we knew where that cave was supposed to be. We couldn't find it. We looked, and we looked, and we looked. I can't explain why we couldn't find it. I just believe that it was an accident that we found it the first time. And that something or someone made sure that we didn't find it a second time. That event happened 50 years ago this coming summer. And I still remember, like it happened yesterday, the feeling I had and how scared I was that somebody or something was watching us. And it's something I won't forget for the rest of my life. Thank you.